Hello everyone, and welcome to a basic understanding and overview, combine those together, of the ideas behind Audacity and general philosophies for recording Let's Plays and video editing. I'm not going to go heavy into the editing because I use Premiere, which is a good program but also costs money, and a lot of people who are watching this won't want to dive that deeply in, but we'll take it one at a time. So, first things first. Audacity is a program that a lot of people use, most of them Let's Players, that allows you to record your voice separate from the gameplay. I mean, any microphone recording thing will allow you to do this, but Audacity is free and also extremely powerful, especially considering that it is free. It's better than a lot of the programs that are actually paid programs out there. So we're going to actually be using that, as I recommend you to as well. So rule number 1 for Let's Playing: never, ever, ever record your microphone and your gameplay on the same file. You always want to have it separate. If you're doing this on PC, it's extremely easy. Have the game not pick up your microphone and record it in Audacity instead. If you're using a program or using a capture card, for example, for console games, still have the microphone recording on a laptop or something next to you so that you can have it synced up in a proper way. Why do we do this? 1, if I have a bunch of background noise, then I can cut it out without having to worry about cutting out the game audio as well. 2, if I have a problem with the audio where something breaks in or a loud noise happens or I let rip the most horrendous fart you've ever heard, then I want to be able to cut that out. And in order to do that without disturbing the game audio as well, you need to have 2 separate files. So always, always, always record them as 2 separate files. So here, I am obviously recording my voice as I speak right now. You can see here, it's bumping with the bumps of the actual pitch of my voice, as well as a volume meter up here. You want to be loud and clear speaking, but not shouting. Shouting actually changes the way that you speak by cutting off some of your chest. So make sure you're enunciating it like you're speaking to a large group of people, but you're really just shouting, or I should say speaking, into a microphone that's only a few inches away from your face. It's always good to have a high volume of your voice and a low microphone volume than the reverse, because then there'll be less noise that you need to cut out. Now, how do we use Audacity? It has 1,000 buttons. Most of them you will never ever use. So we're just going to go over the very basics of the use of the program. And typically you'll have nothing here. Play, stop, that's all pretty simple. So when you start the program up, you're going to go in and you're going to have your microphone and your playback. This will default to whatever your system is having normally, but sometimes you need to change it around. Here, my defaults are my USB microphone and my headset, so it automatically filled that in. So when you start it up, you'll hit record. You'll record a short section, 5 or 10 seconds, with you speaking, and then play it back to yourself. You want to make sure that your levels are correct and you're not having a ton of background noise. Once you're satisfied, you can go ahead and hit play and start going. You always want to make sure that your recording is happening before your game recording. So when you start your thing, your whole workflow, you're going to go in and you're going to do what's called a sync point. So I'm going to go in, and what I did before this show even started was I went to the button, or whatever you want to have a cue, and you count out the number as the Audacity and game recording is going. You go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now in my Audacity recording, I have 5 clear points where I said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And in my video recording, I have a second set of points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, highlighting that button. When I overlay those two, it doesn't matter if my Audacity recording is 5 hours long and my game recording is 10 minutes. As long as those two layer over each other, you're going to have it so that the game and the recording of your microphone are completely in sync. So that's the easiest thing in the world to do. You just need to remember to do it, and when you do not need to worry anything about having two separate things lining up with each other. Now, some may say, why don't you just make it so that you have to have the same hotkey applying to the recording software and Audacity? You can do that, yes, but Murphy's Law says that it's going to fail at some point, and you're going to go through and you're going to do a half hour to an hour to whatever of recording and come back with absolutely nothing but dead air from either the Audacity or, God forbid, from the actual game. Audacity, you can post-record. Game, you cannot. Neither of those can be checked once the recording is already started. So, just do it the easy way. Don't try to get too fancy with it. When you're done, you're going to hit stop. Now, I've already recorded an episode of Dropsy, which is the LP I have going on right now. So instead of playing with that, we're going to go and do the Dropsy recording instead. So I've already gone through and I have this. Now, a couple things you want to look for. Here we have no big bumps, but we do have this noise here. We want to get rid of that. So I'm going to go to Effect, Noise Reduction. After I select an area, I'm going to say Get Noise Profile. Basically, what this is telling the Audacity to do is this area here, I know there's nothing going on. So that when I select everything and go Effect, Noise Reduction, OK, it's going to sit there, it's going to apply it, and it's going to say, okay, I know that anything below this baseline is noise. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to cut out all that, and you'll be left with nothing but your own intentional speaking. This is great. It will make your audio sound so much better because there's no thing in the world except for some NASA-style telescope housing, whatever, that's completely noise-proof. So this small 5-second change is going to allow you to change it up and fix your audio. Now, my caution with this is that this does not overwrite a poor speaking voice. I'm practically shouting into my microphone as I'm doing this because I'm trying to lower my settings and raise my voice, like I said before. If you don't do that and you have too much noise, you can still apply the noise canceling. However, you're going to have an issue where you're not going to have a baseline of your voice because your voice has peaks and troughs. So if I say that this whole section here is noise, then you're going to have a very robotic sounding voice because you're going to lose out on a lot of those deep tones. And that's not good. So high volume, low drag, do it just right. Once that's done, you highlight everything, go to File, Export Audio, and then whatever you want to do, mine's my Dropsy, it's going to export that. It's going to ask you for a bunch of track numbers. Don't worry about that. No one really cares. And then it's going to export it as a WAV file. Now you're going to open up your audio video editing. I'm using Premiere. If need be, if people have questions, I can make a Premiere specific video later, but because it's not used by everyone, I'm just going to go over the theory of it. So I'm going to pull up my Dropsy video that I just recorded. Again, I should say, like I said, always pretend that you're not going to record it the first time. Now, I have this in here, and I have loaded the actual file in. So you see here that I have my video file up top, and then secondary peaks down here, which is the game audio. Now I'm going to drag and drop the audio that I recorded from the previous section. drop C. Here we go. And that's going to drop in, and it'll create the WAV files. Now you're going to notice that this file is much bigger than the other one. Why is that? Because we dropped it in a lot earlier. We didn't start them at exactly the same second, so there's a bit of a difference in timing. But hey, that's okay. Why? Because we have our sync point. So we're going to go ahead and try to find where that point was. I accidentally made 2 of them, so we'll find the second one. So here you can see on the top right, I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or 5. Okay, I'm going to cut that there. Now I can go in my listing here, and I can even see the points here, where there's these 5 peaks. And I can cut that there. Now when I edit them together, presto changeo, they are now completely synced up. Oh, I actually messed it up, sorry about that. Forgot I did it twice, so I actually need to do it over here. This video actually is going to be going up with all these changes put in like this, so I don't want to screw it up just for the sake of a good show. So now we have the sync point put together, and it's all good to go. But we don't have it completely ready yet, because this is the dead air that I have before the game actually starts. Like, you know, I did the sync point, I took a deep breath, I took a drink of water, whatever, prepared my thing for it. But it doesn't matter, because even though the recording is going and the video is going, I can just wait. I can wait as long as I want, because all I need to do is find where I want to start and then just delete everything before that. And just like that, all that wasted time and wasted space is gone. You have a nice tight thing. And that's basically the entire idea of audio recording separate from the video. Now we have 2 perfectly good things that we can change the levels of, we can edit, we can move, we can do whatever we want. A couple things about Audacity that I'm going to continue to consider. You have these points here where it's going to be a general small change, but occasionally you're going to do something what's called clipping the mic, which is what happens when you make something that's really loud, like you cough, or you sneeze, or I don't know, a gun goes off or whatever. And you'll see a red bar appear on the screen. This means that you basically blew out your mic. You didn't cause any damage to it, but it's going to sound really bad on your recording. You want to at least minimize that by either cutting that part out or by reducing the volume of that section. The key part of that is you do not want to cut it out in Audacity. You can, but it's a lot better to do it in the video, because here you can just go ahead and slice it out, while here you need to worry about re-syncing everything and making sure there's no changes in where the positioning is of all the audio. The one catch is that in here you have it where it's the red line clearly marking. Here there's no such thing. So just keep that in mind. Other than that, it's a very simple thing. It's a lot more complicated when you write it all out, but in here it's not so bad. If you have any questions, my Twitter is down below @DreamShipWreck, and I'll see you next time.